We caught up with Grant here from Endgame Studios at GDC to find out a little bit more about Fractured Souls, an upcoming title for the Nintendo 3DS that's doing things a little bit differently using both screens. Could you explain the concept first?
Sure. Fractured Soul is a classic platform game, so like Mega Man or Castlevania, except it's played on both screens of the 3DS at once. So anyone who's familiar with those platform games will find it easy to get into, but at the same time we offer an additional challenge of those both screens.
So could you tell us about the mechanic? You switch between sort of being solid in one screen and the other. Can you tell us about the mechanics there?
Sure. So on one screen you're always solid, and the other screen you're a ghost. And so there might be a platform on one screen that you need to reach, and it's only on one of the two screens. So maybe you need to switch to access that platform, or maybe there's enemies on one screen and you need to switch to avoid their bullets, or maybe there's just different puzzle that you need to go back and forth between the two screens to avoid different things or access different things.
And to add to that, there's also different worlds where you have different properties in each of the screens as well.
Right, there's 5 different worlds, and in each world we do something totally different with the upper screen. So, for example, you might be underwater and it might affect your gravity differently, or there might be wind pushing around in the top screen, or there might be gravity might be completely inverted, such as it is on one of the worlds. So you have to keep thinking, and we keep changing the game mechanic a little bit that way.
So when I played it, of course, I just got into it. It takes a little getting used to, sort of keeping your eye on both screens because you have to switch all the time and that sort of thing. But you did mention that the game is really targeted towards speed runs and being able to change on the fly and just do it like get into that groove of things.
Absolutely. It does take a little bit of time for you to get your head into the idea of moving between the two screens. So hopefully the platforming part of it will be pretty standard for people who have played, say, Mega Man before, but the dual screen switching thing is something that's totally new. But once you do get into it and you've played a few levels, then you start to find new ways of using the switching and finding new ways to get through the levels in different ways that you'd ever thought possible.
So I understand the project started on the DS, and you're doing both kind of now. Could you tell us a little bit about the hardware and what it's like working on the Nintendo handheld?
Well, we've always been working on Nintendo handhelds, so we've really enjoyed working on DS and 3DS. 3DS is pretty exciting with some of the stuff we can do. For example, we can put 3D graphics on both screens, which the DS didn't have the power to do. And you can do things like put a proper soundtrack in the game, so it's streaming, CD quality music during the game, which again the DS couldn't do that. So another thing that we've been able to do is online leaderboards on the 3DS, which the DS also couldn't do. So we're really excited to do that. We always wanted to have the online leaderboards in Fractured Soul, and it's great that we've been able to do that on 3DS.
And you're not really using some of the sort of the more touted features like the 3D, because obviously when you're switching between two screens that would be kind of distracting. And are you using any touch?
No, there's no touch in the game, and we're not using the stereoscopic, as you said, because I think it will give players headaches if they have to keep looking between the two screens.
So where are you at in development, and sort of when can we get to see? I know you're still considering retail or eShop, but where are you at?
Right, we're deciding between retail and eShop, as you said, but the game is essentially final, so we're out at the point where we can bring it to market, and we're hoping that we can get it into people's hands in the next 2-3 months maybe.
Right, exciting times. Excellent. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.